Okay, class, we are now on the second element of a contract, which is the object. So the object is also the subject matter of the contract. Okay, so all things ang ginamit na word, which are not outside the commerce of men, including future things, may be the object of a contract. Okay, so things, ibig sabihin ng which are not outside of the commerce of man, ibig sabihin, these things should be within the commerce of man, meaning it is capable of being a subject of commercial transactions. Okay, example of things that which are outside the commerce of men, kanang moon, di ka pwede mag-transact ng business of selling the moon because the moon is outside the commerce of men. What else? Sunlight, okay, which are this outside the commerce of men. Hindi mo siya pwede ilagay sa baso, sa bote para ibenta. Okay, what else? Things outside the commerce of men, katong isda na nagalangoy-langoy pa sa dagat, is outside the commerce of men until such time na mahuli siya. So for as long as the fish is swimming in the ocean, it is still outside the commerce of men. Okay, future things may be the object of the contract also. What are future things? Future products, like you're selling the future harvest of your land, okay, consisting of maybe corn, palay, or whatever. You can that can be an object of a contract, even if it still does not exist during the perfection of the contract, and the object can be the future thing. So the law allows future things to be the object of a contract. Okay, rights, all rights na transmissible may be also the object of a contract. Okay, right, like rights to the land, rights to a particular thing, you can make that as an object. Okay, basta transmissible sila. Okay, kanang mga intransmissible rights cannot be the object of contract, like your right to life, okay, your right to vote, hindi mo siya pwedeng gawing object of the contract. Your parental rights over your children cannot be an object of the contract. Hindi mo pwede ibenta, i-donate, pamigay. Okay, so only those rights which are transmissible may be the object of a contract. Services may also be an object of the contract as long as they are not contrary to law, morals, good customs, public order, or public policy. Okay, of course, kaning things, rights which are contrary to laws, morals, good customs, public order, public policy are also are likewise cannot be object of the contract. Okay, so what can be objects of the contract? The things, rights, services, subject to these limitations provided by law, like must be within the commerce of man, they should be transmissible, not contrary to law, public morals, good customs, public order, or public policy. Okay, impossible things, of course, cannot be object of the contract. Okay, physical impossibility, like you cannot reach for the moon. Okay, you cannot contain sunlight, that is physical impossibility. Legal impossibility is although physically possible siya pero legally bawal, so it is impossible. Like you cannot sell prohibited drugs while you can physically hold and deliver these drugs, but because of legal provisions, they cannot be an object of contracts. Okay, legal impossibility yan. So this one is important class, future inheritance. Kanina sabi natin future things can be an object of a contract, except this one, future inheritance cannot be an object of a contract. Why? Because the person here yung nag-expect ng inheritance is only have an expectancy lang kasi yung hawak niya. Okay, under our laws, yung mga anak walang right sa property for as long as the parents are still alive. Okay, so you do not have right over the properties, you only have expectancy. Maybe because pag namatay na yung parent, simba ko lang, naubos na yung property, or na-disinherit ka. Okay? So, expectancy lang kasi yun. So, future inheritance cannot be an object of a contract. Okay? Magiging sa'yo lang yung inheritance pag namatay yung parent ba. Okay? At the time of death, yun na yung inheritance na pwede maging object of the contract. But for as long as the parents are still living, future inheritance lang ang habol mo, expectancy lang, that cannot be, by provision of law, that cannot be a subject of the contract. The object of the contract must also be determinate as to its kind. Okay? Kahit kind lang, parang generic. Okay? Kahit yung generic thing, must be determinate kung unsa nga klase. Okay? Hindi pwede basta kung ano lang gusto. Dapat must be determinate as to its kind. Okay? I will sell to you a cell phone. O at least may kind siya. What is the kind of the object? It's a cell phone. Hindi pwede indeterminate na hindi mo pati ang kind, hindi mo alam. Like, I will sell to you something. Ansa man na? Basta something. Hindi pwede. Must be determinate even up to its kind lang. The fact that the quantity is not determinate shall not be an obstacle to the existence of the contract for as long as it is determinable without the need of a new contract. Okay? Kahit hindi pa siya determinate, pero pwede siya ma-determine. Okay? Pwede siya maging object of the contract. Basta determinable. So, requisites of things para maging contract. Number 1, it must be within the commerce of man. Okay? It must not be impossible. It must be in existence or future, capable of coming into existence, except future inheritance. Number 4 is it must be determinate or determinable. Okay, pwede ma-determine. Okay. Services. Anong requisite sa services? The service must be, of course, within the commerce of man. The service must not be impossible also. And it must be determinate or capable of being determinate. Okay? Dapat ma-determine siya. Or capable of being determinate. Like, you want to paint the house. Okay? Determinate siya or capable of being determinate. For rights, the right must be to be as all rights as a general rule must be can be an object of a contract exception yung mga intransmissible. Example, the right to vote, family rights, marital rights, parental rights, right to run for public office cannot be an object of the contract. Okay, sa cause. So the last essential element of the contract is the cause. The cause or the causa is the reason or the purpose why the parties entered into the contract. Okay, so it is something given by the other party in exchange for the promise of another. Okay, the cause is also called a consideration. Cause or consideration, pareha lang. Okay, a contract without a cause is void, of course, because a cause is an essential element of a contract. So the contract with an unlawful cause is also void. So according to law, ang cause daw class kahit hindi stated sa contract, it is presumed. So presume siya, disputable presumption, that it exists and lawful unless the debtor says the contrary. Okay? Si debtor ang magsabi kung mayroon ba talaga o wala. Because si debtor man kasi ang bibigyan ng cause. Si debtor yung magbibigay ng object, siya ang tatanggap ng cause. So kung walang cause, magreklamo talaga si debtor. Example, S sells his cellphone to B for 10,000. Okay, from the point of view of S is the seller, the object is the cellphone, ang cause is the price, 10,000. Murag debit credit class ba? Class. Ang object is the debit and the cost is the credit. Okay. But for the point of view of B, the subject matter is the price and the cost is the cell phone. So, contracts classified as the cost may be onerous. Onerous, ibig sabihin, the debtor has a cost, the other party also have a cost. So, dalawa sila. Each party has its own cost. Like sa ating example ganyan. Okay. Cellphone, selling of cell phone for 10,000. Sa seller, ang cost niya is the amount. Sa buyer, ang cost niya is the cell phone. So, onerous. Remuneratory, where the cost is to remunerate a previous benefit or service. Okay. Sa remuneratory contract class, may previous service. Siguro, bugado niyo siya, nag-surrender siya of legal service. So, para ma-compensate, ma-remunerate ang previous na service, you can give something as a cost. In that case, the contract is remuneratory. Gratuitous classes where the cost is the liberality of the giver, like in donation. Okay, may object na binigay and the cost is the liberality of the giver. Okay, mag-thank you lang yung tumanggap. Wala siyang cost na ibibigay kundi thank you lang. So, gratuitous. Motive class is different from the cost. Okay, ang cost is an element of a contract. Motive is not an element. Okay, it is purely personal to the person. Okay. Example, S sells his cell phone to B for 10,000. So, para kay S, ang object is the cell phone and the cost is 10,000. Pero maybe the motive of S is to use the money or the proceeds to buy a new cell phone. Okay, so that is why the motive is not an element of the contract. Yung cost lang. So, the elements of the contracts are concept, object, and cost, not motive. Because motive is something personal to you. So, requisites of cost must exist at the time the contract is entered into. Okay. Kung na-future na object plus, wala yung future cost. Okay. Ganyan ha. Yung na to, ang object may be a future of thing. Pero ang cost must exist at the time the contract is entered into. Because that is the cost why the contract is entered into by the parties. Kasi kung walang cost plus at the time the contract is entered into, pagka no cost, the contract is void. So at the time the contract is entered into, there must be a cost. There must be a reason. There must be a purpose why the parties are entering into a contract. It must be lawful, of course. And it must be true or real, because a false clause means there is no cost. Or no cost, no contract.